Macaroni and cheese, a simple dish loved by practically everyone.
You know, growing up in my generation, I mean, that was just like, that was the food, you know?
We visit a restaurant taking a classic dish to the next level and on the menu.
On the Menu is sponsored by Price Heating and Cooling.
We're going to start out with our pasta. This has the infamous cheddar cheese sauce. We're going to mix this up with some yellow cheddar, some New York Sharp. Top it again with the 2 cheeses and the breadcrumbs.
Throw this dish in the oven for about 15 minutes and you've got a traditional plate of macaroni and cheese, served here at the Elm Street Diner on the north side of Youngstown. While mac and cheese alone is great, owner Ron Heinbaugh is putting several twists on the classic dish.
Our niche is we have 10 different kinds of handcrafted macaroni and cheese.
Add Swiss cheese sauce, feta cheese, olives, and spinach, and you've got Grecian mac and cheese.
Who would think throwing spinach and Columbiana olives would, and it's amazing.
Take the traditional, top it with chili and onions, and you've got Western mac and cheese.
And it has wagon wheel pasta, so it kind of brings out the kid in all of this.
The Elm Street Diner opened up just over 2 weeks ago as a co-op with Commonwealth Inc. But this isn't the Youngstown natives' first time in the restaurant business.
I lived here through the 70s and early 80s, and then I moved to Cleveland. And I've owned 4 restaurants. 2 of them were in Cleveland. And I just was, after being in Cleveland for over 20 years, I have family here, so I decided to move back to the area.
At the time, he says he had no plans of opening up a diner.
I met Pat Rosenthal. She's the executive director for the Commonwealth. They had somebody that had an idea for this space, and they had already started renovating it, and she said, "Oh, I heard you have a background." And I'm like, no, I don't. I kept saying no. And they kept saying, "Oh, please, do something." But one thing led to another, and that's how I'm here. Commonwealth basically should take 98% of the credit.
I'm going to do the Southern mac and cheese.
Southern?
That sounds good too. They all sound good.
They are all good.
Other kinds of mac and cheese you can find on the menu include Southern, Irish, Fiesta, Alpine, Buffalo, and Hawaiian.
Black Forest is probably aside from the basic macaroni and cheese, is probably the best seller.
There's also a selection of sandwiches, soups, and salads on the menu, plus homemade desserts.
Our specialty is carrot cake. When I was in Cleveland, I won the Taste of Cleveland. The first year it was just for the best dessert. The second year it was for the best of everything.
And if 10 kinds of mac and cheese isn't enough for you, Heinbaugh says he's thinking about implementing a mac and cheese of the month.
So, I mean, you can do anything with it. And we did one at Thanksgiving one time, and we put fresh turkey, and we actually put stuffing in it, and we served it with like a side of cranberry sauce, and people thought it was pretty amazing. It doesn't even become macaroni and cheese. It's almost like make your own casserole.
The diner is part of the Growing Elm Street initiative, aimed at improving the quality of the Elm Street corridor and the surrounding neighborhood.
And I think this, neighborhood just has potential. I've always had interest in this neighborhood here. I live in Cortland right now, but I'm selling my house and buying one down the street. You can invest in a neighborhood, but it's not the same as if you're willing to live in it and work in it. And that's what this neighborhood really needs.
Heinbaugh says he wants the diner to attract YSU students to the Elm Street neighborhood, ultimately becoming part of campus life.
I knew that this concept would be successful, especially with college students. It's like their second favorite food next to burgers. We really want to focus on, this being a part of the campus.
You can check out the Elm Street Diner menu and keep up to date with their business hours by visiting elmstreetdiner.net.
Price Heating and Cooling, serving the community since 1937.